Yes, it is a very big day. Monday the 24th of August 2020. It's one to write down in your diary when things changed and things happened. Of course, after March 15th last year and the attack on 2 mosques, we have the sentencing of the man. And we have the most remarkable room in Christchurch under armed guards. Just 240 people allowed in because of the COVID. And remarkable situations occurring there. Now, we have a lot of rules about covering this case under media law that haven't normally happened because you don't normally get 66 victim impact reports all in a row. 4 days worth of this. It is so huge. The judges and the authorities have ruled that the media cannot report from inside, of course, the courtroom. They can make 2 crosses or 2 lots of reportage each day in the lunch break and at the end of play. So that's at 1 o'clock and at 5 o'clock and at no other times. We don't want to endanger this case and this sentencing and give this man any advantage. So I'm now joined by Chelsea Daniels, who is, Chelsea, it's fair to say, in the most remarkable room in the world. Not at the moment, obviously. You have to step outside, but you're at the point of history.
Absolutely. I'm one of 10 reporters allowed into the main courtroom. Of course, there's overflow rooms as well for victims and other media.
All right. Can I ask, is it daunting when you walk into a place like that?
Absolutely. I mean, there is heightened security around the law courts here in Christchurch. Chilman and Litchfield streets nearby are barricaded off. A lot of police presence here, bomb squad, dogs, everything. But I mean, what I can tell you from this morning is that we've learnt more about how the gunman prepared for the attacks. Now, he arrived in New Zealand in 2017, lived in Dunedin. In September that year, he got his firearms license, of course, the beginning of what we would know today. Between December 2017 and March 2019, he began collecting high-powered firearms, military sighting systems and telescopic sights, as well as 7,000 rounds of ammunition. Now, he also bought military or police-style armour and tactical vests. That will enable him to carry and be able to quickly access magazines on that fateful day. He also altered the triggers of MSSA rifles so he could fire them faster. Andrew, he wanted to inflict as many fatalities as possible.
Now, he must have, because he was living in Dunedin, and of course this is in Christchurch, now he must have done some preparatory work, some reconnaissance work on where he wanted to undertake this at the mosques.
Yeah, so he searched mosque plans online, locations, prayer times, as well as important days in the Islamic calendar. In January last year, he travelled from Dunedin and flew a drone over the Al-Noor Mosque. It filmed an aerial view. He took detailed notes of the timings people entered. He wanted the maximum numbers of worshippers present when he would inflict his power.
They said the summation of this case would take about an hour. Of course, it didn't happen at the time because he pleaded guilty. So this is fulfilling the justice requirements. Have you finished that? Has the Crown actually done the entire summation of the day's facts?
Yes, so that happened in the morning. It's something that is read out generally when the defendant pleads guilty. But of course, he did that on the first day of our nationwide lockdown. We know more about what happened on March 15. He travelled from Dunedin in his Subaru. It was filled with military-style weapons. He was dressed in camouflage, a tactical vest, of course, which held at least 7 full-loaded magazines and a bayonet-style hunting knife. He even wrapped a bulletproof vest around the driver's seat to shield him from gunfire if need be. He arrived in Christchurch at about 12:55 p.m. At 1:28, he sent his manifesto to an extremist website. That, of course, is objectionable content and has been banned in New Zealand. Just minutes later, at 1:31, he sent messages to his family of his intentions and instructions on how to deal with the media and police after the attack. And a minute later, he activated his camera and, of course, live streamed the event on Facebook. 17 minutes before Facebook would take that down, there were about 190 worshippers inside Al-Noor Mosque, many in prayer when the shooting began. He was early when he arrived at the mosque on Deans Avenue He turned on a strobe light to cause confusion to his victims. He then, of course, travelled to Linwood Mosque. After his attack there, he was then arrested.
Wow. Okay. And not once causing suspicion. Now, so you've finished the whole summation of the events of the day. Have any victim impact statements been made yet?
They have, and they have began, as you said before, 66 over the course of the next 4 days. A common theme from the ones we've heard so far this morning have been that the actions of New Zealanders after the attacks, the fact the country's actions of love and community were the absolute opposite of what the terrorist wanted. He was told that he was misguided, misled. They are loving and peaceful. And he said, one person said, your hatred is unnecessary. If you've done anything, you've brought the community closer together with your evil actions. Loss, sadness, confusion is what we've heard here this morning. Memories from when the shooting started, seeing friends, family drop beside them as they went for Friday prayer. One man even looked him in the eye, pointed at him, and thanked him for bringing his community closer together.